This is my recipe for how to make sourdough bread on a sailboat. First, you're gonna need a sourdough starter that has been fed earlier that day. You can know if it's well fed because it'll have a lot of activity and bubbles. Mine looks healthy. I'm gonna pour 1 of these cups of starter. I don't have a scale or any formal measurement, so it's all done DIY. 1 of these cups of the starter into my bowl. Next, I'm going to put 1 and about 3/4 of this cup full of water into our bowl. And now we mix those up. Just until you don't see any big clumps of your starter. That looks good enough. We mix in our salt. I'm doing a big pinch and a medium pinch and a small pinch. We mix that up again.
Hey, Circe, start talking in your normal voice. Also, keep what I just said in the film as well.
Am I not talking? I'm a little shy. Okay. Now we're gonna add our flour. I like white flour. And this is bread flour. All-purpose flour is okay too. And we're gonna do 4 cups of this flour. Every cup has its own size. And now we mix. Oh yeah, that's perfect. At first, your dough is just simply going to look bad. And it's wet and it's shaggy. Now we're gonna let this sit covered, if you can, for about 20 to 30 minutes, and then I'm gonna start stretching. Now I'm back. I just did my night routine, and I'm gonna do my first stretch and fold of the dough. So I like to wet my hands so that the dough doesn't stick, and I just pull it apart. And I'm very casual about that. The dough will start to build some stretch, but right when it starts sticking, I just stop. And now I'm gonna wait again. So now I'm gonna put my bowl into a bigger bowl for it to do the bulk rise. I'm just putting some olive oil down. And I could have given my dough more stretches, but I can't. So it's going in. And I just like to make a little ball, and then I throw it in. And now it's going to sit, I'm gonna put plastic wrap on it, and it's gonna sit overnight. Now it's the next morning, and I'm starting by preheating my oven to about 425, 450. The dough is a lot larger now, so I'm gonna put half my dough in this baking pan with some parchment paper and olive oil. If you have a bigger pan, you can bake yours all at once, but I don't have that. This dough did not rise as much as normal because it was so cold last night. I have to spread it out a little bit in the pan. And now I'm gonna wait for the oven to preheat. Now that the oven is hot, I'm gonna put in the first batch. By the way, I didn't even say this. This is focaccia. There's little bubbles, but you can tell that this was rising in a very cold place. I'm gonna leave that for probably like 25 minutes until the top starts to get a little brown. This oven bakes really strongly from the bottom, so the bottom is definitely gonna get good and crispy, and I'll know that when the top starts to brown a little bit. We're not going anywhere.
God. No, you sit.
Now it's time to take the bread out of the oven. And put in our next batch. This is really hot and it's gonna hurt. If you have a wire rack, it'd be better to put it on that. Now I'm gonna put this second batch right in. This pan is really hot, but I don't have a choice. And you know what? I'm gonna put some chives on top. A specialty loaf. This is gonna be a thicker loaf. You can see some bubbles forming. We're using a Force 10 boat stove that has a gimbal that allows it to rotate when we're under sail. It's good. I'm gonna let this loaf that just came out of the oven cool until the next one comes out. Today on this bread, we're gonna put cream cheese and smoked salmon that we smoked in Washington and brought here. Tastes good.